My favorite road's not far from where I live in Renton, Washington, a suburb of Seattle, Washington. And I was thinking about trying to get out every single day and doing the walks. As for somebody like me that's 75 years old, the time has flown by. You can't stop it. All you can do is just be present, meditate and not be thinking more than, say, 5 minutes from now as a way to slow things down. But the one that I want to talk about today, which has been such a key to most all of my life, has been exercise. I saw something recently about exercise is as close to the fountain of youth as we have today. It was at Vasco da Gama who was looking for the fountain of youth in Mexico or something like that, if I remember. But you don't think about that when you're young. When you're young and bulletproof and all that kind of thing, it's just not something that you crosses your mind. And so as I've gotten older, I've been really glad some of the decisions I made along the way. And one of them was exercise. And I'm very fortunate because, as I said, I live in Seattle. And we've got Mount Rainier, Lake Washington, all the rivers, the lakes, the Puget Sound, the waterfront. There's all these really cool things you can do. And they're all designed, or at least work in favor of people that want to be outside and doing things in the outside. And, over the years as I've traveled, people say things to me like, "Oh, you're from Seattle." And the first thing they say every single time was, "Does it rain there all the time?" I used to go, "No, it's got a bad rap," but now I just let them think it rains all the time because that means less people are coming here and it'll make it less crowded. But it does rain quite a bit. But it doesn't have any of the smog. It doesn't have any of the humidity. It doesn't have hurricanes. It doesn't have tornadoes. There's all these things. We used to have earthquakes years ago, but haven't had one of those in a long time. But basically, except for a little rain, which cleanses everything and makes everything smell fresh and new every time after a good rain, boy, I can't complain. So I feel like I ought to do an advertisement for the greater Seattle area because there's so many cool things about it. And if you're active, and I think that's one of the things, again, as I've gotten older, you don't look or act or sound like you're somebody who's 75. Well, so much of it it's just age is just a number. And somebody once said to me, "How old would you think you were if you didn't know how old you were?" And I think right now I would say, 50, 45, 50, something like that. And because that's how I feel. And so much of that goes back to energy. And there's other things I've talked about too in the past, like drinking 4 quarts of water a day and so forth. So get your exercise. It'll make a big difference. I'm that gratitude guy. Remember, be grateful and never quit.